If you don't know me, I'm JCaponigro, the Vice President of Marketing here at Goodwill. And one of the things that they asked me to come talk to you about today is branding. What is it about a brand, and how do we take the brand and how does that influence me as an individual? Let me ask you a question first. Do you ever go on a job interview and one of the last things they say is, we're looking for someone who's going to fit into our culture? What does that mean? What does that mean, fit into your culture? I'll tell you what it means. I'm going to help you through that today. What it means is, if you know your strengths and you know who you are, you know who your brand is, and you go into that job interview and they like you and they select you, you're going to love working for that company. You're going to fit into that company. If you don't know who you are, you're guessing or you're giving off a different perception, you're probably not going to enjoy working there. So same thing for us as new leaders. How do we fit into the Goodwill culture? We do that by knowing who we are. Let's talk about brands for a little bit. These 3 brand books really influenced my career. From Vince Lombardi to Brian Tracy to Tom Peters. These 3 books really influenced not only who I am as a leader, but also the structure that we're going to talk about today in terms of building your brand. So let's talk about the company's brand. We all work for Goodwill. We all know that Goodwill does something good in the marketplace. We all think about brand as that smiling G logo that's out in the marketplace, but it's more than that. It's really the perception that people have about Goodwill is its brand. So we can talk about our mission, we can talk about our vision, we can do nice television commercials, but it's really how people perceive us as a brand. And really, you influence the brand more than anything in marketing might do. In marketing, we're projecting an image and we're protecting our brand, but what you're doing is creating the brand every day by talking to our customers. When you're out there talking to our customers, you're really influencing the brand. So it's not only important for you as leaders to know that about Goodwill, but it's also important for us to know that about you as leaders. So let's work on our leadership statement for ourselves. What do you bring to the table? Let's talk about what we bring to the table as a brand individually. The first thing is perception versus reality. If you don't know what type of leader you are, or you don't project the type of leader that you want to project, people are going to fill in the blanks. So people are going to have their own perception about who you are. Be consciously aware. Make sure that you know what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. You need to work on your weaknesses like we all do, but know your strengths. If you know your strengths, then I can come out to a meeting with my peers and I can bring those forward. I can talk to them about it with my boss. I can let them know what my strengths are, and that will go toward my brand. And then developing your messaging. So that I'm not talking about a 1 second or a 10-second elevator speech. I'm talking about developing your messaging about who you are so you can drive that forward. So I've developed this structure. I call it the brand statement structure. I've done this for companies, and here now at Goodwill, this is part of what we do at Leadership Academy, is we work on it as us as an individual brand. And it's broken up into segments. The first one is your target audience. Who am I talking to? Am I going to say a different message to my boss as I am in the community, as I am to my wife, as I am to a leader in the church? It's all going to be different, but make sure you know who your target audience is whenever you speak. The brand is you, just like the book. The competitive framework is, what do I want to project myself in the marketplace? What do I want to be known as? It's almost like that headline of who I am. And then the benefit that I bring to my target audience from that competitive framework. Once I determine what I am and my benefit that I'm bringing to my target audience, I need proof. So I could say I'm the nicest guy in the world, but I need proof behind that. I can't just come out and say it. What is it that defines that for me? And then most important, I think, is your brand character, which are the adjectives that explain who you are. Pick 3 to 5 and live them, and dig deep. Come up with the right adjectives. Don't make it generic, make it something about you. Let's take a look at mine as an example before we work on yours. Here's my leadership style statement. To my audience, teams and key stakeholders, Jim is a partner who strives to provide solutions to complex issues. I do that by listening, analyzing, interpreting, working to preempt objections, and making informed recommendations. And most importantly, I think, my adjectives. I'm adaptable, naturally curious, competitive, and courageous. That's me. So let me ask you this question. How do you fit into the culture? How do you fit into Goodwill's culture?